Some of the seemingly successful businesses you see online are quietly drowning in debt. In this episode, we're talking about the danger of living beyond your means in business, why access to money is not the same as ownership, and how to grow without becoming owned by your expenses. If you've ever felt pressure to spend just to keep up, this one's for you.
Hey, lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Bolts. I'm an attorney and founder of Bolts Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Bolts, owner of Bolts Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're Miss Biz, where we're putting the miss in biz.
Let's get biz done.
A few weeks ago, I was scrolling through TikTok and I came across this video that kind of caught my attention, and it was talking about how the majority of rappers and famous people are actually pretty poor when you think about how much cash they have on hand. So the way that they went on to explain is it was somebody who had been signed previously, so he was like a rapper or something, and he was talking about how what the industry does to you is as soon as you're getting ready to get signed, they take you shopping, they give you one of those like MasterCard black cards to use, and then they take you on a shopping spree and they tell you to buy anything that you want. And so what they do is they go kind of crazy thinking about all the new clothes and new things that they can get, also what they're going to need to kind of achieve that look or status in their industry. But what the record label doesn't tell them is that eventually they're going to have to pay all of this stuff back. So then they always just kind of end up robbing Mary to pay Paul, or Peter to pay Paul, and they can never really get ahead because every time they do, they have to invest into this or book this studio time here or buy this car because of status. He brought up a point that most normal American citizens actually have more cash than some of these rappers and famous people, even though they're worth so much money. And it really just got me to think and reflect about what we do in terms of our businesses. Sometimes we, and this isn't everybody, but sometimes, especially certain industries, there can be that pressure to have a very specific image. So just like this rapper, this could also be a business owner story as well. A lot of times we will upgrade our lifestyle before we truly build our foundation, and then somewhere along the way we confuse access to money with ownership of money.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that stands out to me too, is that those people, their worth in the industry is very high, but they don't own their own image. Somebody else owns that image.
Yes.
So that is something I think that is unique to us as business owners and professionals, that we own our own image, but yet we don't have the same reach that they have when they give away their image.
Yes.
Now they get a huge reach, but the trade-off is they don't get to own their image anymore. So it's, and we think when it comes to reach that we have the capability to expand our reach, but with the algorithms and all the things, you really don't. If the algorithms don't want you to be seen, you're not going to be seen. So it's there's a lot to it, but living within your means and growing slowly, even with business expenses, I see businesses do this sometimes where they hire too quickly. They see dollar signs or expect dollar signs to be coming in, and so then they hire a huge team, and before they have the finances to be able to pay for that team. So it's just growing at a pace that is comfortable and safe.
Finding guests for a podcast can be difficult sometimes, so Brooke and I wanted to let you guys know that we are available to appear on your podcast.
We also enjoy speaking at events, so if you have an event coming up, these jingles can go on the road.
Simply go to missbiz.com/contact and in the subject line, write podcast guest or event speaker, and we'll reach out to you to further coordinate.
Right. What's interesting is that the Bible actually speaks directly to this. In Proverbs 22, verse 7, it says, the borrower is servant to the lender. And we don't hear that as shame, we hear that as clarity, because when your business is built on debt, pressure starts calling the shots, not your vision, not your values, not your obligations, but your obligations. Your numbers stop serving your dream, and your dream starts serving your numbers. I mean, there can be pressure to take on certain things that you normally wouldn't take on because you need to pay off some of these debts. This is a real problem, and it's something to really evaluate in your business, and how we can make sure that we're being really good stewards of our finances.
Well, it's become there's pressure to just put it on a credit card, just take a loan, just do the things and receive now, pay later. And it's kind of what our American culture is built on. So, but let's break this down. Revenue is not wealth. Just because money is coming in doesn't mean that it is free to spend on anything that you choose. Wealth is profit, wealth is reserves, wealth is margin, financial and emotional. And Proverbs reminds us to be sure you know the condition of your flocks, be sure you know the condition of your business. So clarity beats cash flow every time.
Absolutely. That whenever you have debt, it creates pressure, not power. And debt always has limited options. So the more that you owe, the fewer decisions you're going to be able to make freely, because it essentially controls you. So lifestyle creep can kill businesses quietly, not all at once, not in one big failure, but in hundreds of small, we've earned this decisions, and that will slowly eat away at stability. You know, I feel like I have the opposite problem. I was a teacher for so many years I was making low $30,000. And there was a while where I had to actually tell myself, like, I can take my kids out to eat. You know, we can do this special treat. So I find myself, kind of struggling to get through that and be able to make purchasing decisions, because I still have like that teacher mentality sometimes.
Right, pinch your pennies and save. Something that's coming to mind, because there are kind of two schools of thought when it comes to this. If you've read or heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad, he kind of has the opposite advice. He talks about getting loans to purchase real estate and then always maxing out those loans as much as you can, but reinvesting that loan money into new properties. And then when you pay yourself out of that loan money, then that's not income that gets taxed, and so that's a way that he limits his tax exposure as well. So I have tried to wrap my arms around that philosophy, and I find that there's something internal to me that struggles to live off of debt money. I just don't like that hanging over my head, and I feel like I'm not a success if I've got tons of debt. So, I mean, of course, I have a mortgage and things like that, but to live at max debt capacity, the way that Rich Dad Poor Dad teaches, is something that I haven't been able to come to terms with in my own mindset.
No, I mean, that gives me anxiety just thinking about it.
Yeah,
Seriously.
but it works for him, obviously, and for others who employ that philosophy. But I think it really works best in the real estate world.
Mm-hmm. So something to kind of be aware of and to remind yourself of is to stop spending to validate success. So before any purchase, make sure that you ask yourself, would I still buy this if nobody ever saw it? Because a lot of spending isn't strategy, it's image management. And God doesn't measure success by appearance, He measures faithfulness.
Yeah. Do you love the Miss Biz podcast?
Because we love you.
Here's 3 things you can do to show your support.
1, write us a review. Apple, Spotify, and Google My Business are the best platforms to write a review.
2, follow us on social media. Our handle is @MissBizPodcast.
3, join our Facebook group, Miss Biz Nation, for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage. Also, ask questions related to your business and discuss topics from our episodes.
That's so true. I love that. I love that question. Would I still buy this if nobody ever saw that I had it? Because, that's what name brands are. Mm-hmm. It's a status symbol. It's not necessarily because we love that brand. The knockoffs are usually just as quality, but we want people to see that we can afford those things, that we have those nice things. So next is to build some boring financial habits. Separate your accounts, build reserves, pay yourself consistently, think profit first. Because boring is actually biblical. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. And that's from Proverbs 21. Excitement fades, but stability compounds.
One of the other things that you can do is to delay upgrades on purpose. So you don't need the biggest office yet. You don't need the premium software stack yet. You don't need the luxury branding yet, although I might kind of disagree with that one. Just kidding. Delay is not lack. Delay is wisdom. And discipline now creates freedom later. I know with me, I've always done things in baby steps. Instead of going, full blown out into everything that I've needed, I've always just kind of taken it step by step. And then we'll increase that once we start generating revenue from that. Then we'll increase that by 20% or whatever the case may be, just so that I can always make sure that I'm not going to fail.
Right. That's the same way that I am. But I know there are people who go big right away with huge marketing loans and put it all out there, and that's risky, and sometimes it works and you get a huge influx of business from that, but sometimes it doesn't, and that's what keeps me from doing that. Is I'm afraid if it doesn't work and I just spent all that money. So ask this before every big spend. Will this make me more money, save me time, or reduce stress in the next 90 days? And if the answer is no, then pause. Because stewardship means you don't just ask, can I afford it? You ask, is this wise?
Yeah. So The coach with the luxury brand is one example that we're going to share now. So imagine that she's making $25,000 a month, but she's spending $23,000 on ads, software, branding, and lifestyle. Online, she looks like she's thriving, but online, she's anxious, overextended, and one slow month away from panic.
Yeah. And the bigger you get, the bigger those numbers are.
Yeah.
And the bigger, that kind of happened to me in that the firm was booming, and then the rug got pulled out from underneath us when the laws changed, and I had all the expenses of the volume of business we previously had, and so I had to downsize quite a bit, and it's hard to do, but I much prefer to be the size we are now and to then slowly build back up. Mm-hmm. So next is the quiet consultant. You might have lower revenue, no flashy branding, no fancy office, but no debt. And you have 6 months of reserves and full control over your time. The truth is that this person sleeps better at night.
Mm-hmm. So then there's the black card credit card business owner. This person has high credit limits, easy approvals, constant spending power, but every decision is tied to some sort of repayment obligation. So even though it looks like freedom, it's actually pressure disguised as success.
So access to money is not freedom, ownership is, and God doesn't call us to look rich, He calls us to be faithful. Because faithfulness creates margin, faithfulness creates peace, faithfulness creates longevity. So if you take anything from this today, let it be this. In business, the goal is not to impress people, it's to stay free and to sleep well at night and building something that lasts.
We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found Miss Biz helpful, please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at Miss Biz Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltslegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltsmedia.com. Let's get biz done.